His acclaim spreads.
I didn't mean to bury my back. They went, the judgment day shall come. Grave robbers' daughters, they poisoned their father. Couldn't take what he would do at night. Their youngest sister, she doesn't even miss him. Things he did to them just were not right. They were judgment day shall come. The wicked walk alone into damnation. No suffering of soul. Salvation, salvation. Town's oldest lady, she sits alone waiting, counting all the money that she stole. Slave trader's cousin, he hung a man for nothing, and plans to take that secret to the grave. They go, day shall come, and they know the judgment day shall come, and they know judgment day shall come.
slide and try to make time with your neighbor's wife. Brother, let me tell you, just as sure as you're born, you better leave that woman alone. You may run for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Let me tell you that God's gonna cut you down. Let me tell you that God's gonna cut you down. One of these days you can mark my word. Thinker man is away at work. Creep on up, knock on that door. That's all, son, you will knock no more. You may run for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Let me tell you that God's gonna cut you down. You may run for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Let me tell you that God's gonna cut you down. Let me tell you that God's gonna cut you down. Let me tell you that God's gonna cut you down. Right about now, the midday sun is beating down on me. Out there ain't a cloud in the southern sky. Here in my heart, it's as cold as any wintry sea. She said, how long's eternity? I said, as long as time may be. In the white light, there's a big black bird. He's staring down at me. Out there for me, there ain't a hope in hell. Here in my heart, it's as dark as a cup of joe should be. She said, how long's eternity? I said, long enough for you and me. Here in my heart, it's as hard as any stone can be. The only thing that can bring her back is the symmetry of the cemetery.
Hello and welcome everyone to another fantastic Wednesday here on the Exploding Dice channel. My name is Astron and I am your host and dungeon master for the evening. And I have some really funky western rock music playing in my ear, which is different. It's not what we usually have, but I figured it'd be appropriate. Welcome to Iron Gods, our weekly sci-fi fantasy D&D show here on the Exploding Dice channel. First of all, let me give that big old tombstone to Scott, because he's not here, so there he gets a tombstone. That's how we do it. Real quick, before we drop right in, thank you Runtime and BTB, Superpin, and Rosem for joining us. Welcome to the madness, my friends, and thank you for Saving Throw Show for the host. We have a good show for you. We have hopefully a great show for you tonight, but before we dive into that, why don't we go ahead and say hello to our cast, and we will start in the appropriate spot, because I moved your camera before, with the stupendous Petra.
I was wondering what kind of adjective you would
I
find.
am
this
expanding
time.
my vocabulary, trying new things today.
So proud of you. Doing good. Doing good. Back to play Robin.
Can you turn up
Expandiander.
volume a little bit? I don't know which one
I
you're.
I can't. I don't have anything.
No, I don't.
What do you-
I was reading in chat. Someone said turn up volume, and I don't know if he means my volume or other people's volume. So Tell me whose volume, because mine looks like it's peaking. So.
Are you able to regulate our?
Yes,
volume?
I can manage everything. I just need to know which volume
Well-
channel they're referring to specifically. It could be either my mic, the music, or your mics. I don't think it should be your mics. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I'm back to play Robin Cassava, ex-bounty hunter, who, contrary to her usual behavior, started a casino brawl last time by losing her patience and punching someone. That was fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, I guess I have a date with a minor. At least that's the way that Aspen
Yeah,
twisted and turned that.
you kind of did promise to go on a date with a young street urchin. That made him very happy. Technician says the whole game.
Man,
I turned.
didn't get a date.
Yeah. She was kind of the one who offered.
Shit, I like it's Quinn. Damn it.
Well, I mean.
It's not what you think, Tiger.
How's it going, Protagonist? How are you doing, by the way? Quinn, played by Scott, he is, of course, dead. We are currently working... Well, we have finished our robot automaton Tiger to get that rip off the screen, but unfortunately, in the process, Scott suffered a traumatic injury and spontaneously combusted. And so we're I mean we've got to summon a new one from the depths of the hells, but hopefully that'll be sorted out in a couple minutes. Next to him, of course, is the Afrotastic Zach.
That's a good adjective, my friend.
That is 100% accurate.
Afrotastic. I have to use that now.
I'm surprised you don't.
Yeah, I've never actually thought of that.
I would put that on my business card if I had an afro like yours.
I'll say Zach Clay, voice actor.
No,
writer.
Afrotastic voice actor.
Oh, I have to put it before everything.
It's an adjective. You don't.
Afrotastic voice actor,
Yeah.
Afrotastic writer, Afrotastic composer.
Yeah.
I'll see.
It really does enhance everything.
Yeah, so you just have to put it everywhere.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'm here to play the gregarious, innumerable, somewhat Afrotastic because he's controlled by someone who's Afrotastic, Bolus Figboot. And yeah, we'll see what happens today because we killed a lot of people and that's never a good thing unless they're really bad people. And those guys were like, bad, not like, oh my god. They were like, So when you kill people that are only bad, then usually it doesn't end well.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, basically, we're actually going to go and recap what happened last week for you in just a second. But before we do that, oh my god, what I should have thought of an adjective. The
What you got, Askren?
don't put me on the spot like this.
Wait,
3,
You were already on the spot.
2,
The
1.
conquering tiger.
Okay.
Doing all right. I'm tired, but it's nice to be here, playing Karak Stormcleave. Apparently, she killed some people. That's nothing too terribly new. She generally has a conscience about it, but it's kind of her role, and she accepts it. But she's a half-orc barbarian. She is most definitely the muscle in this group.
All right. Before we of course get into things, let me just switch up my music a little bit. 1 second. Of course, my name is Astrid. I am your host and dungeon master for the evening, and we are going to we're going to give you guys a little bit of a recap as to what happened last week, and of course, what is going to be going on during the show. First of all, what did happen last week? Well, our intrepid party had just they had just tracked down some activity in town, some suspicious activity, and they tracked it to an abandoned warehouse that was on the low, owned by Mr. Garmin Ulref, a sort of shady businessman in town, the proprietor of the Silver Disc Tavern, Silver Disc Hall, gambling hall, who had previously invited them to make a showing and visit the gambling hall, as they seem to have been sort of a little bit of a local hero kind of thing after they had rescued the missing counselor Connor Bain from the depths of the spaceship ruins under the town. When they actually alerted the guards of this warehouse on their way in, and rather than making an epic entrance and finding out what was being hidden there, the bandits and Garmin both escaped. And so the party began by tracking their movements through the town. Figboot got his staff polished, and Robin ended up with a gate.
I did.
Yeah, no, that happened.
It was excellent.
Don't ask, Tiger. Don't.
Literally, no. His actual his quarterstaff.
Actual quarterstaff Shia LaBeouf.
Yes.
And I
Okay.
was the one to get the information that we needed. So
Yeah.
that was
Robin.
quite a wondrous exchange.
Robin also courted a young street urchin, as we mentioned before, but in the course of that, they found that the thugs had carried whatever it was that they were transporting to the Silver Disc Hall. And so the party went to the Silver Disc Hall, they scoped it out, with Figboot and Quinn heading around the back, while Karak and Robin headed in the front door. They attempted to blend in, they spoke with Garmin for a bit, and then they sort of gambled and played games, all while kind of sizing up the level of muscle in this building, seeing that there were multiple rope fist thugs scattered around the building, all kind of intently watching them. Eventually, after finding what it was that they were looking for, Figboot and Quinn rejoined the party, and as they entered the hall, Garmin decided to approach the group and speak with them. His speech... in his speech, he sort of insisted that he did not rob the party. He had not stolen anything from them, though this was not really something that Robin believed, and so instead she punched him in the face, and that started a big old barroom brawl. As people fled, rope fists came in and tried to restrain the group, swords were drawn, and Garmin went invisible. There were blows exchanged, there were rope fists that were slain. The people fled the gambling hall, and eventually Garmin made it out by turning invisible and fleeing after a little bit of a fight, while the rest of the party mopped up the rope fists and went deeper into the building, eventually finding the room with the guarded artifact, or the guarded treasure, the treasure being a crate that had been pulled from the warehouse. The rope fists surrendered it, not wanting more of a fight, and the party realized that the crate did not house their belongings, but rather a very large technological device with multiple screens and keyboards and a transmitting dish, and Quinn was able to read some of the information on the screens and determine that this was some sort of power relay device that was creating the headaches and the interference that was felt throughout Torch. And as the party picked this object up and trudged out into the town, endeavoring to bring it over to Dolga, I believe that was your destination. That was kind of where we ended it. And so that is, of course, where we are going to be picking things up. So the party has just acquired this strange technological device and is trying to figure out what their next move is. Before we dive in, of course, I want to remind you guys, if you have not already, please hit that retweet link. Zyphus has it for you right in chat. Tell all your friends that you're hanging out here and playing with us. I don't have any major announcements, other than thank you guys for hanging out this morning for some video games. If you will notice, I don't know if my camera can capture it, but I am wearing this sweet Dice Thulu t-shirt, which I bought a few of, and I highly encourage you guys to, if you want, if you want your own Dice Thulu, you can get it right over here. It's just !merch for that, and you can buy it like $20. Would have been 14 if you'd bought it on sale, but now it's not on sale. But you can get it right there, and it is just really, really awesome. Of course, thanks to Din Money, one of our crazy cool cast members, for the art. I think that's pretty much it on the announcements. So remember, guys, if you are enjoying the show, please hit that follow button. And if you want to support more, consider hitting that subscribe button. For $5 a month, you get natural 20s, advantages, and all kinds of things that you can help assist the players with, or hinder them a little bit. Or, of course, you can hit that donation banner and do those yourself. You can give the players nat 20s, advantage, disadvantage. You can have them draw from the tarot deck to predict their future, as well as some other cool things. All of that money, of course, goes back to supporting the channel, and this month is going to TwitchCon funds. So, thank you. That is pretty much it. So why don't we just dive... Oh, right before I do dive into it, I just want to say one last thing, that all of the music and ambient sounds that you will be hearing today are provided to us by our fantastic friends and sponsors over at Sirenscape.
Sirenscape!
There you go. The chorus makes it work. That is it. So let's get right into this. Let me turn down the fantasy music. And
turn on the horror music.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's desert. That's the one we want. Yeah. All right. So you guys are making your way through the town. You have this. It is the middle of the afternoon. You went fairly early in the day. You spent some hours investigating, and now you're trudging through town with Karak carrying this giant and very heavy crate on your shoulder. Karak, basically all of you are going to be feeling the effects of this thing. Just being near it, you can feel that sort of audible hum in your head that almost feels like it vibrates your teeth. There's an ice cream truck. And you feel this kind of throbbing headache. It's not really something you can control. It's just kind of like a dull, pounding pain in your head just being near this thing. But you have it. It's not particularly comfortable to carry. It is very heavy, but you do have it. So what would you like to do? What's your destination at the moment?
I would ask, is it covered, or
it is
what does it look like?
It's in the box.
What does it look like? So I don't have it in front of me, but if you go, the live tweet that I just did, if you open the image on that, it's the thing with the screens. That's exactly what it looks like.
Okay. But right now it's in a box, basically.
It's in a wooden crate, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I guess so. So we would probably, yeah, just make for the shortest way, unless we wanted to avoid too many people, so that they don't also have to suffer from getting the headaches and not drawing in too many attention. So I don't know. Perhaps I'm making a little bit of a detour, getting to Durgais.
Okay. So you wanna go to the council hall?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is what we had agreed upon.
You guys are walking through the streets, and you kind of realize fairly promptly that the wind is blowing around you, and you are getting the dust is being kicked up. It's a little bit irritating, but you notice that the people that you pass are not giving you particularly pleasant looks. You see a lot of people who are kind of giving you a side eye kind of thing, like not really coming near you.
Oh man, guys, I wonder if it's because we killed people.
Is it like everyday people?
They're people that you probably haven't exactly interacted with.
Okay, but they're not just people on the street, so not merchants or something like
that.
Yeah,
no. These are like the people that you're passing on the streets. Like not all of them, by the way, but some of them are kind of giving you like very confused looks, or very like as if they heard something.
Yep, word has gotten out, people. Yeah, Robin is ignoring that and just keeping her hand near the handle of her rapier.
All right.
I look
must-
at one of the people, or go ahead, Tiger.
I was just gonna say, Karak looks over at Robin. I must admit, it's a little entertaining to see you so flustered. As, carry this big thing.
What do you mean? And you do see that you probably would notice that she's been more quieter since the whole thing went down at the casino.
It's just funny seeing you so uncomfortable when they shoot you looks. I apologize. I'm just not used to it yet.
She shoots Karak a slightly confused look, so wondering if she's trying to make a joke or if she's just. I guess Robin is just so in her own thoughts that she doesn't really get it and just mumbles something like a non-committal sound, like okay.
In the meantime, Fig Boot looks at one of the passerby that is looking at us queerly and says,
Hello. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
He kind of. So you're approaching like a random guy on the street.
yeah, like one that I notice is looking at us, and that's near enough to start a conversation with quickly.
Okay. You see, there's a man who's kind of like he's like lifting up a crate of something, and you're kind of passing him by. He's an older man, and he kind of. What do you want?
Oh, it's just I saw you.
He says, "I don't want any trouble."
Well, what are you talking about? Why would I be offering any sort of trouble?
Yeah, he kind of steps back, kind of holding his crate like off to the side. He says, "Don't lie to me, boy. I heard that you attacked the gambling hall."
Okay, I was just making sure. Have a nice day. I'll see you around.
Will we have heard that exchange?
Yeah, I mean you're probably a few feet away.
Yeah.
Don't. Oh. Yeah, I just
Sort
walk
of
away.
rolling forward. Just, I mean, he's coming over, and when he's back, Ron will probably just say, "Let's just keep walking."
I thought it was the thing that we're carrying is having an effect on everyone, but no, it's just us.
Yeah, I would say word has made the round.
That we killed a bunch of people. That's never a good thing.
As I said, I started it, and I will take responsibility for it. But right now, let's just get this thing to Durga or any of the other council members, where we can find first.
Okay.
And we continue.
All right. As you guys are making your way towards the council hall, you're gonna kind of have to pass by the road the road that leads past the Temple of Brig, and as it's a little ways off the path, off the road, but you hear sort of or you see a man kind of in like these kind of familiar sort of tan with like gold trimmed robes. He's that you've seen the acolytes of Brig, the Clockwork God. He's sort of standing in the street, and as soon as he sees you, he says, "Oh, hey, hello, you over there?"
Yes.
I look up and over.
It's, he kind of hustles over, like lifting up his robe so he doesn't step on it. He says, I was told to get you, your friend,
Yes.
your friend, Councilman,
Connor?
he's
What is with him?
he's awake. He's asking for you."
I'll look at the others. Then what should
think
we do?
we
I don't
should-
think we should take this thing.
I think we should
Inside.
drop it off and handle that first. I mean, drop it off and handle this thing that we're carrying first.
I look back at the acolyte and say, is he how intently was he asking for us? Is it because we have to deliver something, but we can come back. I would have to. I was planning on coming back afterwards anyway.
I'm sure he can wait a few minutes, but the first thing he asked for was his rescuers.
If you could tell him that we are busy at the moment, but that we will visit him at most by tonight.
Yes, and we are very glad to hear that he is awake. We will definitely come to see him.
Oh, okay. I'll tell him. I'll tell him that.
Thank you. Bless
He
ya.
sneezed so hard his headphones fell off.
These headphones are not very tight, and so they fall off a lot. All right, so you guys are gonna continue past the temple.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. You continue past the temple and the let me get my appendix here. Where is it? No, oh, that's because I'm in the wrong book. Here we are. Yeah, the council hall is not far past it, so you will have to go. Where the fuck is it? Sorry, I can't find the page in my notes. Alright, so you guys make your way to the town hall. Obviously, this fairly large stone building you've been to before. You're standing outside. You see it has large double doors that are open. And you actually see quite a few people are either kind of milling around in front of it or just inside.
Well, I guess we're going to walk straight in.
As soon as you guys approach the hall, you're gonna kind of like you get glances in your direction. People begin muttering. You can hear their voices kind of rising, and also as you get closer, you're gonna see people kind of begin reacting fairly outwardly to this sort of the aura that this device is kind of radiating. As you see their talk begins to get louder and louder to the point where it is actually sort of audible to you, and you could hear people talking about it. They say, like, the nerve to come here. Someone should arrest them. They're criminals.
I keep on ignoring that, and I walk straight ahead if we can.
Just keep going.
Yeah, actually, as you do, you're gonna hear a kind of a voice behind you. It says, Look, don't go in there just yet. We need to talk first."
I look around. Who is it?
You see there's a sort of a cart, like a big wagon, and sort of standing in the shade of the wagon is wearing like a kind of a brown cloak over that covers most of her face. But you like a small dwarven woman. You instantly recognize the sort of heavy warhammer that is kind of resting next to her.
So that
Is it?
There's only one dwarf with a warhammer that you know.
All right. I'm good.
what is her family name? Is it Freddard or something like Freddard?
Dolga Freddard, yes.
Yeah.
Freddard. Okay. Dulga. So is it Dulga? Because I always say Durga, but that's not that. Those are the bad dwarves.
It's Dulga.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write down the family name.
Yeah, not Duragar. That's a different thing.
Duragar.
That would be bad. So yeah, I guess we're going to walk over to her instead.
All right. You kind of walk a few steps off the trail into the shadow here, and you see her kind of lean out, like her eye kind of peeks out from under her hood. She says, What have you done? The whole town is abuzz with rumor that you're all vandals, criminals, and robbers.
I sort of lift a hand. I say, Councilwoman, that would have been my fault. I lost my temper there, and I fear that I started it all. I want to say that something good came out of it, but be that as it may, well, I kind of look at the people behind us that kept talking about us, and I said, "Yep."
She says, I don't think you understand exactly the situation. Garmin Ulreth was a very influential man in town. He came directly here not a half hour ago, and he petitioned the council members to have you arrested.
Well, maybe perhaps you would like to see what's... And I look up at, over at Karok and then up at the box. Perhaps you would like to first take a look at what we brought you, what we found at, in the Silver Disc Hall, in Garmin's private rooms. It doesn't fully apologize the mess that I started, but I think it kind of explains his involvement a little bit more.
She says, first of all, if you present some, will anyone even believe that this was in his possession?
Well, there were 4 guards.
Yes, there were 4 rope fists that were also in the room.
And you can find them to testify?
Perhaps, and if we can't, then I'm sure that there were people outside of the Silver Disc Hall to see us coming out with this item. I think its importance is more in the fact that we have it and less in the fact that it came from Garmin, although that's a very nice thing for him.
If I may, allow me to present a not a suggestion, a strong bit of advice. Attempting to present some sort of legal claim to prevent your arrest in front of the council right now is not going to be a productive use of your time. Too many of them are too close to Garmin to do anything in your favor right now. My suggestion...
We could just go back underground.
Just... You have carried carried some favor, and I can deal with the politics up here, but I would rather see you not arrested and not thrown in a stockade for something that you may or may not have done when you can be doing more good.
Oh, Dolga, you're such a sweetheart. I think we should go with her plan.
She says, if you choose to leave the public sight, I can give you a bit of a head start, but allow me to tell you that I have heard some rumors, some talk amongst the council, and
What kind of rumors?
they all know. Everyone knows what you did to return Connor to us. And while this may seem to make you heroes, or at least ingratiate you to some, it also means that you are very dangerous, potentially. I have heard that they plan on reaching out to someone, a traveling mercenary to bring you in.
Ha!
What? So,
That's
okay.
cute.
And these rumors started before we did this thing today.
No, that is how Garmin has been trying to sway them. He came in near an hour ago.
And so, okay. So we save the town, or we at least save Connor and do something nice for the town. Are you saying that they were thinking about hiring this mercenary person before we attacked Garmin or whatever, or after?
After. They
He proposed that.
People standing outside of the town hall right now are calling you murderers.
Oh, I know that. I'm just interested in where this mercenary person came from.
I'm not sure if that really matters at this point. It just seems that our friend Garmin managed to basically buy the whole town.
He has a lot
Yes.
of influence, I told you.
Everyone loves gambling.
At that, you would see Robin sort of pull a face. You don't have to tell me that.
She kind of turns, she says to Robin, she says, I don't know much about him, but there is someone that has turned in quite a few very dangerous bounties. His name is Shinji, and they are, if they need to, they have discussed calling him in to arrest you. I do not want to see that happen. I can stall them, but I don't know for how long.
Well, as I said, we wanted to go back underground anyway. And maybe we're not coming back this time. Problem would be so for the people here, although I have to say I would prefer us coming back alive a second time. What's going to happen then is another question.
If you can restore the flame, I am sure that I can make a case to get any charges against you dropped. But I need that time.
Can we
No problem.
discuss without you for a moment, Toga? Can we discuss with ourselves? Quickly.
I must go to the council. Make your decision,
sure.
but do not waste too much time. Make it swift.
Thank you, Toga dear.
She nods. She says, "You have been a lot of help. I would not like to see any of you
Speaking of
harmed."
swift decisions, you should find someone who is able to turn off this thing, whatever. And I pointed at the crate, whatever it is that's in there. But in case you probably noticed your headache increasing. I
Yes,
assume.
I heard that Connor was awake. If there is anyone who would be able to figure it out, it is him.
Probably so.
He's one of the foremost technologists in town.
Well, we just stopped by, but I wasn't sure. Well, we weren't sure if it would be so helpful in his current state to have him deal with this machinery. But if you think that he's healthy enough at this point, then by all means, you should take a look at it.
That would be entirely up to the priests. You'll have to ask them. I'm not an expert in such matters.
Well, if people are actually about to start a witch hunt for us, I'm not sure how wise it would be for us to go back to the temple.
Well,
I think we should get moving, by the way.
Yes. Let me. She says, let me know if you need. I can visit the Foundry Tavern tonight, but I would suggest.
Yes, please do that, Toga.
Very well. Good luck. And she kind
Thank
of
you.
lifts her hammer and kind of begins kind of walking down sort of this alleyway, probably to loop around back behind the town hall. So she's not like coming in from the street. So you guys are kind of left in private. You're still sort of standing in the shade of this cart, and you can hear sort of the crowd clamoring outside the town hall. Probably not happy because of the headaches that they are now experiencing. Probably about maybe 50 yards away, 100 yards.
Are you still good to carry that, Karak?
I'm fine. Not much. Not much in between my ears to hurt.
Oh, you're funny.
But yeah, let's try to get rid of that as soon as possible. I mean, it's really getting on my nerve. I can only imagine how bad it must be for you, Karok, carrying that thing right next to your hat.
If it keeps up, I'll just stab somebody.
I don't think it would make our situation any worse right now.
For all we know, it's
Karok
helping
flashes
her.
her a grin.
Sort of, Robin runs a hand through her hair and says, I'm sorry, I don't know what made me lose my temper like that.
It's okay, we'll move on from it. But, here's what I think. I think we go back to Connor, and we at least describe to him this object, if not fully bringing it to him. And I believe that it plays some role in what's going on with Torch, and perhaps we have the cure for it right here. And if not, we go down to the underground and continue trying to solve the problem there.
Well, the question is if we will have enough time to wait for Connor to figure this thing out. I'm not even sure that the priests will want to have us in their temple for long.
Quinn will kind of say, I can, if he's helping us out, I'm sure between he and I, we can figure something out.
I'm Batman.
No, I'm Sandman.
All right,
I think
then.
we should go back to the temple. And if an angry mob comes for us, then let them feel the wrath of Fake Boot. Which means running away.
Well, to
As
be
a
honest,
As a spider.
to be honest, the reputation of my family has never been the best, so there's not much to be damaged. So let's get going.
Did you ever hear of... you were a bounty hunter once, yes? Or something?
I was for the last 10 years, but more than that, but not here.
Did you ever hear about
Enchanted.
this... I already forgot his name.
I don't know why I've written it down. I've said it so many times I can't remember his name for the life of me. Garmin.
No.
No?
The bounty hunter they want to send for us. The
Uh,
mercenary man.
Askren?
Senshi?
She
Shinji.
said she's
Congratulations, Shinji. Everybody sends around him.
she said his name was Shinji. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of this?
I would suppose at this point we're already walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you, Robin, you probably would have heard that name. I doubt you would have met him, but, it's the last you heard, he was a bounty hunter who had made his way, probably settled down in a town called Scrapwall. But he was fairly notorious. And you know, you remember stories about him having, like, being a very foreign looking, like, dressed in a very foreign way, and using just a single sword.
Okay. Yeah, I would relay that to them and then add, well, he was, had a bit of a reputation to himself. Just overstepping the law as a bounty hunter is, fairly easy, and most of us have no problem doing that, but he did that all the time, and it seemed to enjoy it. From what I heard, there were few things that he wouldn't do, so could get interesting if he manages to catch up with us.
Sounds very exciting. I'm enticed by the thought of him and Karak in open combat.
Just me and him?
Yes, and we're all just watching.
From a safe distance, I presume.
Of course.
Of course, yes.
And whoever wins gets a fig.
How noble of you.
Of course. You would be Karak Figboot.
It has a nice ring to it.
It always does. Robin Figboot, Quinn Figboot. It fits with everything.
I think Quinn Figboot is my favorite.
I'll keep that in mind.
Figboot, my friend, I have to say, I'm really glad to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to have me with you too.
At a safe distance.
Are we at the temple yet?
Yeah, you guys. I was just gonna say, you guys are sort of coming up just outside the Temple of Brig. And let me get my page here. The temple, again, as you recall, sort of big sort of sandstone building with these kind of bronze wind chimes and sort of clockwork bronze statues that decorate the domed portico of the compound dedicated to the goddess of clockwork and invention. The temple doors are kind of sealed, and as you're approaching, you hear kind of this loud gear turning as they begin grinding open.
So they're
Okay.
letting us in.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anyone there opening the doors. They just kind of are opening for you.
Well, we've seen sliding doors, so I guess that's not.
Yeah,
too
I mean,
exciting.
you assume is these probably are slightly lower tech than the doors you saw on the spaceship, but they work.
But they're still nice.
Yeah, they're in their own way. They're quaint. So as you kind of make your way in the hall, the doors kind of grind to a close behind you, and you're left in the fairly cool shadow of this large hall where you can hear sort of the turning of gears, the clanging of metal, the hammering in the distance. And you see an acolyte is kind of coming out of one of the hallways, and he kind of notices you. He says, "Oh, you're back. I expected you a bit later. Are you
yes.
here to see Mr. Connor?"
Yes, we had a
Yeah.
slight change of plan. We have something we would like him to take a look at. What state is he in? Is he doing all right?
He's awake. He's still in bed, but he seems all right. He's talking. His injuries are still make it hard for him to stand.
Well, I don't
Do
think
you
he
think
would
we
necessarily have to
should-
stand.
Do you think we should describe it to him first and maybe look at his condition and then bring it up to him? Or should we
Perhaps.
just walk in with it?
No, I guess we could leave it here for a moment. I look back at the acolyte and say, we found a machine of sorts. We believe has. Do you have a headache right now?
Well,
Other than us.
now that you mention it, yes. What is that?
We believe we've found what has been causing the headaches since the torch went out, and perhaps we believe there's a chance that this construction has something to do with the torch vanishing. We're not sure, but at the very least, it seems to be what's causing the headaches. So we were wondering if Connor is healthy enough to take a look at it. Perhaps he can switch it off.
Yes, he's right through here, down this hallway. You remember where the room that you guys left him in, so you can sort of follow the
Yellow brick road.
the acolyte to there. You see there are a couple. There is the sort of the older priest who is in the much heavier robes. You can see him just inside the doorway to this room, and he seems to be talking with someone else. And as you guys round the corner, you see kind of leaning up in his bed. He a little bit tired looking, haggard, unshaven, obviously, but the fairly bright looking face of Connor Bain, who is animated. This is the first time you guys have seen him in quite a long time.
I look at the others, sort of to see if they want to leave the crate in some distance for the moment and go
I agree.
and talk to him first.
I'll stay back by the crate. Well, actually, no. I think Quinn should stay back by the crate.
That's a good
Because-
idea.
Okay. So you can.
If something goes wrong with it or it starts beeping, he knows how to mess with it.
All right.
He's gonna hack into it.
So you you leave Quinn with the crate kind of down the hall, and you guys make your way into the room, and you hear kind of as he stirs, he says, "Oh, hello. I don't think we've been properly introduced, but your faces, they're familiar to me."
Does he
don't
also say that
remember
to
anything.
me?
Yeah, no, he's talking. You guys are in the room, so he's kind of addressing all three of you.
Connor, do you recognize me?
Faintly, you must forgive me. My memory, my mind has not been my own for quite
Don't
a while.
worry about it. It's good to see you awake. I'm Robin. And over here, this is Figboot.
Fig
And
boot.
then here we have Karok and
Hi.
I don't know if you can see Quinn from there, or is it? No, you said we came around the corner, right?
Yeah, I mean he's down the hallway.
Yeah. I will probably point over to Quinn. And then say, we brought you back. And it's good to see that you're awake and able to take in your surroundings.
Yes, it's good to have my mind finally back on my own side. My thoughts are clear, but even now, whatever had damaged me, it's not gone. I feel it working to regain its hold. The head priest here, he was kind enough to spare some of his god's restoration. It's returned my thoughts, but I fear they may slip once more.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's not your fault. So, please, I called you here. There was things that I had to tell you. I don't know much about what happened in my time in insanity down in those ruins, but I do know what happened before I got there.
Are there any chairs or something where we can sit down on?
Yeah, sure. You can pull up a chair.
Cool. Doing that.
Okay. He says, I don't know exactly how you made it down or what dangers you had to face, but please tell me, let me know. What happened? What still remains down there? What did you find?
Well, long story short, you went down before us. Do you remember that?
Yes, about a week ago, I had discovered the tracks of a group of people they were heading into the caves. I discovered these tracks and the entrance to the caves itself. I didn't know who or why. There were 2 expeditions that went in before me. I went in with a third. We met a band of dark-skinned individuals that could blend into the shadows. We fought. I slew some of them, and we took their pilfered goods and went deeper in.
Figboot laughs at that.
He
It's
says,
like,
"You encountered them too, I take it."
Yes, but we made a deal with them. And in case you were wondering where your amulet was, if you remember that you ever had one,
Yes, of course I do.
we had to trade that in because they weren't exactly happy to see you again since you slayed
Killed
the
a bunch of
former
them.
leader. And with that, took their only means to get back to their actual home further down inside the cavern system.
That makes sense. Yes, They attacked us first, but I'm not proud of what happened.
Well, let's just say that's the current theme right now. Anyway,
He says,
we took care of some creatures that bothered them, and that is why they let us enter through the metal doors.
makes sense. We originally forced our way through those doors. I found some sort of an automaton on the other side. It was deactivated, so I had it brought. We brought it back up to the surface so I could attempt to repair it and work on it. In that time there was another expedition that went in before me, and then I went back in on the 5th expedition. We got as far as this strange artificial desert, and slightly deeper, and after that my men and I were attacked. I remember very little.
Did you see the persons or the creatures that attacked you?
Yes, they were. It was some sort of pygmy creature. There was an ooze as well, but they weren't my targets. I wanted to find the people who had actually gone in before us. Those dark creatures. They spoke of a woman with purple hair, leading a band of something. I found her trail. I even glimpsed her for a short while. She was searching for something down there, but I don't know for what.
Well, all we found, aside from you, were the remains of 2 people, but I can't tell which party they belong to. Actually, hold on. And because I remember I took the ring from the body that did not have its skin stripped
You took
from the bones.
You took the ring from the orc's body, or from the
No, one of the people that was in that surgery room.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I'm going to take that out and show it to him, see if he recognizes it.
He kind of, you see him kind of nod very somberly. He says, "It belonged to my friend Gillum. He was a good man."
I'm sorry.
Well, he's dead.
I expected I would be the only one that made it out.
You were.
What of this woman? Have you found her? Is she dealt with?
No, the Skulk, I think they mentioned her as well, but the bodies of your friend, or the body of your friend and perhaps another companion, were the only other humans that we found. And well, there was a half-eaten body, and I look at Karak, but it was damaged quite a bit. We weren't really able to tell if it was human or any other creature. I cannot tell. Did you perhaps run into the 4-armed creatures that live down there?
I'd seen their skeletons. We fought a few of them. And then there was another one. We sealed him in a chamber. And then we continued deeper.
Yep, I think I look at Quinn. I believe we met the one that you sealed. Well, I think we found a way to venture deeper into that ruin. However, as the situation stands right now, I'm not sure if we can. I look at Quinn. There's a part of an Quinn. What did you call it again?
He's not here.
Yeah, but Eskrin can speak for him.
No. He's You left him out with the crate.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Then I'm not looking at him. Then I'm just saying, what did Quinn call it? It's basically described it as platform that can
Oh,
transport us up or down. It started with-
Elevator.
Yes, I believe that is what it was.
Okay, so the concept of a freight elevator is not completely like
okay, I guess we'll
alien.
call it-
Yeah.
Elevator.
What is elevator?
Explain this strange magic to me. He says,
Yeah. Okay.
yes, I had seen that. It had a damaged panel.
Yes, but our companion Quinn, he believes that he removed a small part from it, and he says that if he has access to a forge, he can sort of put it back into shape. It seems to be just dented. It's not really broken from what he could tell, but
I should assist with that. I can do it. We can do it at my forge.
are you sure that you will be able to walk?
He'll kind of like grab the sort of the sides of the bed and go to like push himself up, and as soon as he sort of like puts weight on one of his legs, he just kind of collapses down to the bed. He says, perhaps if I need some help getting there.
Well, we can see about that. There is something if we would like you to look at, if you feel up to it. It's a device. We did not bring it back with us from down below. In fact, we found it with Garmin and his men, and it's been giving us quite a headache, literally. And it seems to be what's giving everybody here a headache, or has been doing so since the torch went out.
I've felt it. By all means, I'll take a look at it.
I guess I can sort of wave over at Quinn.
Yeah, you can kind of call him in from the hallway, where he will kind of drag.
Or Karok can be like, Quinn.
Yeah, I mean he's not that far out of the room, so you can sort of bring him in with the crate, and he'll sort of lift the lid off of it. And I guess between him and with Quinn and what's his name, Connor here investigating this, they can both sort of they both have their sort of technology skills. So I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna make one of you. You should have access to a sheet. One of you make an intelligence check for Quinn.
Any of you already got it?
The sheet should just be in the hand. Everyone can open it, I believe.
No, I just meant that if we're trying to do that all at the same time.
Oh.
Okay, somebody already has it.
All right, cool. So on an 18, 19 with advantage, you guys are able you see kind of Quinn and Connor are investigating this thing. It's this sort of big metal object with multiple screens. You can see sort of moving graphics that look like charts, graphs, words, all kinds of things. It's clearly doing something as it kind of hums with this teeth-chattering power. And it's going to take them probably about 10 minutes of like looking over the screens and testing buttons and flipping through little bits of information, then sort of translating the androphone that they read. But over the course of the next sort of 10-15 minutes, Quinn will kind of look up and he says, "This appears to be some kind of a power transmission device." Here, wait, hold on. There appears to be some kind of power transmission device. We don't know where exactly, but it's transmitting its power. From what it says here, about 105 miles to the northeast of here.
So what you're saying is that this thing, this machine, is not directly what it's causing.
No,
headaches?
this. All right. Imagine if you have like a big I don't know how versed you are in technology. And he says, and kind of Connor kind of, what he's trying to say is that somewhere down, somewhere here, there is a power source. That power source is being siphoned. The power is instead of wherever it's going. This device is receiving it and transmitting it somewhere else.
So it's like there is some source of power below us going up and into this device and out of this device to a location many, many miles away.
If I had to guess, I'd say that source of power might be our purple flame.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what would happen if we destroyed this device? Would the flame be not messed with anymore?
No, if you destroyed this, whatever's siphoning the power and preventing the flame from burning will still be operational. It just won't have this device to transmit it. I don't know I don't know if this device is necessary for transmission or it can still be transmitted, but destroying this won't stop. It won't turn the torch back on, I can tell you that. What I can tell you is whoever's operating it will probably know that this is turned off.
So it won't help us, but it will hurt whoever needs the transmission of power.
I would certainly shut this thing down as soon as possible. Won't solve our problems, but it'll be a stepping stone.
Yes.
So basically, they're stealing the power of the torch.
That seems to be the case.
What is 100 and whatever you said miles north of here? What landmarks? I'm not familiar with Numeria.
Quinn will kind of pull down his mask and he says, a town called Scrapwall.
Yeah, Robin so doesn't look too happy about that.
It's
not a nice place.
No, you don't want to go there. Bandits, gangs, it's a lawless place. It's not civilized like here. Imagine a giant junk pile of rust and jagged metal that someone decided to turn into a town.
Well, I'm sure that we'll have to go back down and find a way to make sure that our torch is not being siphoned anymore. But I fear that if we simply destroy this object, that they'll know immediately that someone destroyed their object. I'm wondering if there's a way for us to fix the problem underneath and then have it seem like it was an accident or send a wrong transmission or something. I don't know.
He says, if there's someone down there still below the ruins, if this woman is the one that we're chasing is the one responsible, and she's still down there, I suppose you could go hunt her down, or turning this thing off, you could attempt to draw her back up.
Well, I mean, there would be the option of turning it off shortly before we go back down. So there'd be a chance at meeting her halfway.
If we think that shutting this off will cause a problem for whoever's down there, perhaps we can delay it a bit, trigger it just before you find and make contact.
But how would we be able to relay to you that we make contact?
We won't. We'll have to choose a set amount of time and then have it shut off. I don't know what it'll buy you, but it will, if nothing else, create a bit of confusion.
Well, it's a plan. But just to make sure that I'm actually understanding this right, so whatever is is stealing, or well, yes, let's go with stealing. Stealing the power of the torch. It is not actually located here. It's located, as you said, 105 miles north, probably at Cragwall. The thing that is siphoning.
I think what is receiving the power is 100 something north.
Yeah. So
But
what
I
he
think what's
what he's
Okay,
what
so
he-
the other way around, basically.
what he's
Okay.
basically explaining is that there's a power source down below Torch, and then there's something that's receiving the power 100 miles away, and this transmitter is the in-between point.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. For some reason, I
And-
thought it was. Never
Yeah,
mind.
it's like a Wi-Fi booster.
Okay.
is there something? So there must be something physically altering the torch down below so that it can be even transmitted. Because otherwise, if we destroyed this, then our problem would be simply solved. So there must be some other device that we must go down and fix.
And
Oh, destroy.
to be honest, we don't even know what creates the torch. We didn't even know there were ruins or caves down there until.
Sounds like a quest.
Is there anything else you could tell us about this woman with the purple hair? You said.
I only saw her for a bit. Pallid skin. She had a group of rats and orcs.
Well, we found a slain orc. Close to the entrance of the cavern.
I don't
look
know.
at,
I don't know if they were hers, but
I look at Karak and I say,
Do you want to ask the question about the people? Wink, wink.
What do you know about the halflings that went under?
he says, the halflings were one of the first dispatches, weren't they? I don't remember exactly.
Yes.
Let me find my actual notes on that.
You had to have known.
yeah, you can't forget the legendary halflings. We spent like half of our entire campaign speculating about these.
Yeah, he says, the first expedition that went into the caves was a group of halflings. I think, we found their bodies on the way in.
Oh,
Really?
So they're dead.
I guess.
Where?
I
I'm
thought
sorry,
so.
Karok.
Where were they?
In the caves. I think something attacked. Fire
That
beetles
is-
or something else.
That
we
is
didn't
too
find
bad.
any bodies, though.
Well, Karok may be lucky and they came back to life.
Or maybe they were just plain dead. They're very clever creatures. See, now it's even more impressive. They feigned death, and then we couldn't find them.
Agreed. I believe my presence was probably too intimidating for them.
That
He
was
says,
probably it.
yes, I don't know much about them. The halflings, that is. We found.
Nor do I. They're very mysterious creatures.
Yes.
That's right. So he kind of like shakes his head as if he's kind of shaking off like a thought or something like that. And he says, "So, what's your plan? Will you go hunt this woman and her band?"
Well, we definitely can't stay here for reasons that I'm sure sooner or later somebody else will fill you in. So I say yes. I mean, we wanted to go back down and do some more digging anyway.
Will you need my assistance to fix your part?
I look at Quinn.
If it's not obvious, I desperately do not want to be stuck in this bed.
I don't blame you. Well, I mean, if there's any way that any means of transportation we can get you to the forge, I can talk to the priests. Oh, although I can tell you they probably won't be too happy to see you check out so early.
Let them argue. I just need to be back in my own home and feel the warmth of my own fire for once.
I get that. So Robin would go and find I don't know, someone who's responsible, maybe the head priest or something like that.
Yeah, the high priest will kind of he's not very far away. Like you don't have to go far to get him. And when you sort of tell him that Connor does not want to be here anymore, he says, "No, of course not. He's not well. He needs recovery and further restoration treatment."
But I'm sure you've heard that people heal faster if they're in an environment that is familiar to them and surrounded by people that love them.
I have not heard this. He says, "Look, I can't condone it, but if he insists on leaving, I can't force him to stay. I do recommend..."
Alternatively, do you have a forge here?
A small one.
Maybe. Oh, I'm not there.
Yeah, I would say give me one moment. And well, actually, I asked him to explain to me how he defines small, like what he understands.
He'll kind of you've been around forges obviously because you worked for a guy whose business was that. So you know the difference between like a blast furnace, which is sort of a big thing, for slagging metal and dealing with big things. And then there's that's like a what's called like a large furnace or a barrel furnace. A blast furnace is like a small, sort of very concentrated one, usually used for heating blades and other things like that. Glass also sometimes, but they're usually a lot smaller.
Okay, so yeah, I sort of excuse myself for a moment and go back to the others, and I tell Connor that they have a small forge here, and ask him and Quinn if they think that would do.
Quinn will say, "No, I need to fit I need an anvil. I need real equipment."
Well, I'll look at Connor. You may or may not have seen the face of the high priest. He's definitely not happy about it, but they also won't stop you.
Let him argue. He kind of pushes himself, like he's leaning against the bed, but he says, "Look, someone just give me a shoulder to lean on. I'll be fine."
I can probably just carry you.
But we still have the
yeah, you still have
crate.
to carry the crate.
I take that back.
So Quinn.
Quinn will kind of like let him sort of lean on his shoulder and sort of like kind of fireman carry the, not like over his shoulder like this, but like kind of helping him hobble.
I'll give him my actual quarterstaff as a walking stick.
All right.
Buff.
Before we leave, or I guess the others can go ahead if they want to. Robin would try to go and find the person she asked about gathering information about Zyphus.
Yeah, he says, "Yes, I have assembled a few books. They are right here."
Thank you for holding on to them for me for a little bit longer. I apologize I couldn't make it in the morning.
No, it's more than fine. He says, "It's not much. We scoured what references we could." And he hands you like 3 books. One of them is a fairly large tome that he has sort of put a bookmark in. The others are much smaller. And you, like, he says, there's precious little information. One would have to delve fairly deep into religious ideas that we do not entertain.
Are there? I understand. What are? If you could brush up my knowledge, what is in general the origin story of Zyphus that is generally accepted?
From what I understand, Zyphus is a malignant god of death that is not part of the natural order. He is a bitter enemy of Pharasma, whom death is her true domain. For she, as you know, oversees the proper transition of souls into the afterlife through her tower. But Zyphus is, he preys upon souls that die before their time, or in accidental or malignant ways. And so she hates him bitterly. His worship seems to be maintained by very small cults and sects spread throughout the land. There is no real centralized worship. And as far as I know, or as far as records show, they seem to strike out with the intent to cause tragedy and accidents in hopes of strengthening the power and presence of their deity.
Well, you see, the reason I asked you to gather this information is we found his symbol, Zyphus' symbol, and something that looks very much alike. Remember, I showed you it looks more like a pickaxe, and I show him the sketch again.
Yeah.
We found that underneath the town in the ruins, and it just struck me as odd. Does that make any sense to you?
No, of course not. I had heard that there had been ruins discovered under the town, but that they were not safe to traverse, though I suppose we should very much like to investigate them when they are made safe.
Yes, I understood. I was just curious. I was wondering if it could help us unravel the mystery of the torch, and I just didn't want to leave this strand of information can't think of a word right now.
No, absolutely. Read up on this. Tell me if you find anything. I don't have much to give. Our library's not great, and this is a subject on which precious little is actually written down. You must understand.
Yeah, I thank him, but I lean back. I'm kind of wondering. I mean, I start to sort of browse through the books, but Robin begins to wonder if what she's actually looking for is even in there, because it's just curious that the symbol is down there, but I guess that it's probably not common knowledge whether or not symbols of the gods that are known to us on the upside world have been found in ruins.
You probably wouldn't know about that specifically. Obviously, the symbol, the sort of the pick made from the human skull, rib, and femur is the sort of ever-present symbol of Zyphus. So why exactly it was down in the ruins doesn't seem readily clear at the moment. But as you're kind of talking about this, you hear kind of Quinn is sort of coming up behind you with Connor on his at his shoulder, and he says, "So are we going?"
Yes. Yes. I'm ready to go. I would just let the guy know that I'm done, and I thank him again.
All right.
Did we determine that the forge here is not suitable?
Yeah, I asked Quinn, and he said he needs an anvil and stuff like that.
Yeah, and also Connor just kind of wants to go home anyway.
Yeah.
So you guys are taking him home as you leave.
So hold on.
What's up? Yeah, go for it.
Before we leave, do you all think that perhaps with the current state of things, the entire town wanting to arrest
They will
us
now
and
probably
possibly
think that we're going to
sending-
kidnap Connor.
Yes, and possibly sending some vigilante to come collect us. Do you think we should be at disguise until we head underground?
Well,
If we're going to
I once-
continue to be around,
I once knew a spell that would do that for me, but I no longer have it, so what kind of disguise do you suggest?
well, I'm not worried about myself. I can be a spider or a rat or whatever, but I'm just saying if we're going to be up for as long as it takes for them to use a forge, which is usually quite a while, we don't want to have people bugging us, I suppose. So
I
anything
agree.
we can do.
To be fair, though, we're a group of relatively noticeable people. I stick out in a crowd. People could trip over Fig Boot. I mean, all they had to do was see the little leaf coming out of his boot to know who he is. I don't know if we're going to be able to properly disguise ourselves if we continue to hang around in our ragtag group.
Agreed.
I say we get what
maybe
we
we-
need to get done quickly and head back underground.
Yes, which reminds me, we should return to Dulga once more, or directly try to find the druid, because I don't think we will be able to get down there without water
Sure,
breathing.
man.
Yes.
She said, Dolga said she would come
Kai.
to the foundry tonight.
All right, that's yes. Well, I mean, I agree with your worries, but I also agree with Karak. I don't think there's a whole lot we can do right now, aside from, even if we asked if we could borrow some cloaks. I think since we're still carrying that box, it would be fairly obvious anyway.
All
So
right, then.
let's just make our way and hope for the best.
All right.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys
Go ahead.
are making your way across town towards the foundry. It is getting later. It was kind of mid-afternoon when you guys arrived at the council hall, so it's probably it's probably early, dinner time / early evening by the time you arrive at the foundry, and the Connor is very relieved to see his old place. Basically, as soon as you guys walk in the door of the tavern, the door creaks open, and you Connor, you hear kind of a noise from inside. It says, I just finished making dinner. Is everything all right? Yeah, go ahead.
I guess we brought one more guest.
You see kind of Val sort of peek her head out of the kitchen, and as she does, her eyes kind of go wide, and she just sort of runs over with a big smile on her face and kind of gives Connor a very, a big embracing hug as she just sort of sees his state and looks completely relieved to see you, or to see him, and in the process, she kind of looks over at Robin and she says, I heard he was in bad shape. Thank you for bringing him back. And Connor kind of pats her head and he says, right, how about we? I could really use a meal. The temple food is not particularly great.
So what did you make, Val? It's good.
She says, it's fried pork cutlets.
Yum.
My favorite.
Sounds delicious. And Quinn is probably the only one who's making some negative comment in the back, just like he did last
Needs more
time.
salt.
You're made of salt. You don't need any more salt. Salt incarnate.
All right. So you guys have your sort of meal with this giddy and ecstatic Val. this sort of weary but very happy to be home Connor in the sort of empty tavern of the Foundry.
While we're eating, at some point, Robin will look up and look at Connor and say, Connor, remember when I told you that we had a little bit of a run-in with those dark-skinned people, that shadow people, if you want to call them that, and that we had to give them your amulet to let us pass?
I do.
The thing is, they will only let us or grant us passage through the metal doors once more if we come back with something magic. Technically, and I look at the others, depending on how you want to interpret what was being said, we promised them that we would return with some kind of magical object that would enable them to return down the shaft back into their actual habitat. Although my friends here believe that if we bring them anything magical, that it would make them happy, although I have my doubts. But is there a chance you have anything magical, shiny, that might appease them, at least for a moment?
He says, I have objects I can pay our way through.
Sounds good.
Do you yeah, he says, I'll have something prepared before you leave.
Thank you.
I don't have much, but you're welcome to anything in my tavern or my home or my forge. If you need tools, if you need the old technological things, not much might be useful, but
Well, I still have my doubts that the Skulk will be happy with whatever we can bring them. Do you have anything that perhaps goes boom? Should they decide to attack us?
he says, I have some old, fairly worn explosive charges. They came from the heads of some sort of weapon, but I'd rig them with a switch if you need.
Well, I don't think I'm going to say no to that.
I'm going to say yes to it.
And we still have the box. Krok, you still have the storage bin, right? I believe that you transported the scroll in it and it kept it dry for the most part.
Yes.
All right, so we could use that to transport it. So
Yeah.
anything you think might help us? Magical and lethal.
He says, well, we should make our way to the forge anyway, so we can Quinn kind of like stands up. He says, yes, let's get this thing fixed. I've been wanting to work on something for a while. And you can see he's already kind of like holding his tool bag. So you guys, if you'd like, Connor and Quinn are going to make their way to the forge, and they're going to work on repairing that item. You guys, if you'd like, can either stay in the tavern, you can join them, or you can do something else during that. It's probably going to take maybe an hour.
Where is the forge that they're going to?
It's a separate building. So he has 3 buildings. He has his tavern up front, he has his house behind that, and his forge next to that.
I think Robin stays close to the windows, sort of trying to stay out of sight, but peeking out the windows, just to see if any kind of witch hunt group, if people are already raising the pitchforks and.
Yeah, you don't see a crowd or anything gathering. You get the sense that, I mean, Torch is a town. It's probably not likely that they're gonna sort of start up a lynch mob. It's more like they're like, more than likely you're just going to be sort of, if they actually are convinced that you are murderers or like robbers or something, you will probably be blacklisted and run out of town, like, or eventually. But how long that, you don't necessarily know if that's going to be instant. However, so as they're off working, you will kind of hear a faint knock at the door with something very heavy.
Oh, that must be Dolga, dear.
And I go over to the door, and
I put-
just open the door without even
I was
looking
gonna say
out to who's there.
I have both of my blades out as he opens the door.
I'm ready for combat as well.
All
I just
right.
open the door and say,
Dolga!
She kind of standing there still with the hood on, and you can almost instantly see her kind of shoulders drop. She says, "Hello, Figfoot."
Oh, you remembered my name somewhat. That's great. Oh, it's so great to see you again. Please come in, come in. I made some wonderful pork something earlier, and I think you should try it.
She
I go
kind
back.
of steps in and pulls the hood off her head, and again you see this sort of braided hair of this sort of wizened dwarven woman. She says, "No, thank you. I don't need food, but," and she kind of, closes the door and sort of locks the bolt behind her. She says, "But I do need to talk with you. Things are not completely well."
Less completely well than they were a few hours earlier. And I'm sheathing my weapons and sit back down at the table.
Worsening. I have bought some time, but well, a few developments. First, the council is not on your side on this. I can keep them occupied for a bit, but they are not. They are being swayed. The other bit is, I believe, our friend. If he is not already, he is planning on fleeing the town, leaving, going somewhere else.
Garmin, you mean?
Yes.
Permanently.
That's too bad.
I do not know. He certainly has enough money to pick up and go wherever he likes.
Would I know how long it would take me to walk from where we are now to the Silver Disc Hall?
Probably like 20 minutes.
Okay.
She says, Have you made a plan? Have you learned anything? Should I be preparing for a trial?
Well, we will be back underground as soon as possible. Right now, Connor and Quinn are repairing a piece of technology that will help us with some further investigations down in the ruins. And Connor also seemed to be confident that he will be able to shut off the device that we found. Although he said that it will not bring back the torch. It seems the situation is a little bit more complicated than that. But that is why we want to go back down.
But
again.
you think that you can get it done?
We will try.
If you go underground, it will not be secret. The word will get out fairly quickly. But on the upside, I don't think anyone will pursue you.
Figboot leaves the room. He goes to his room in the foundry.
Okay.
Well, they would be indeed stupid to follow us down there.
Is there anything I can do before you leave?
Well, the fact that the council is not on our side worries me insofar as that we need Durham Kai's help once more. I'm not quite sure if on the way down we will be able to hold our breath for quite that long. Swimming upwards is easy, but...
She says, after our talk, I requisitioned something from his supplies. And she kind of pulls out like a kind of a tube, like a kind of a leather tube, and she sort of hands it to you. She says, really the last gift that I will be able to give you.
Much appreciated, Olga. And I will pass that on to Figwood when he comes back. Well, I guess all that's left for us to do right now is wait and until Connor and Quinn are finished with repairing the part. Hopefully, shouldn't take them too long.
Well, I wish you luck. Is there anything you'd like me to do? Anything you'd like me to arrange while I'm here?
I can't think of anything right now, but what did you have anything in mind?
No, not particularly. I have a lot of business on my plate, calming people down and dealing with the accusations. But she says, get the torch back, and I'm sure even if people are not friendly, the town will be in your debt.
As I said, we'll try. Give it our best.
She says, now if you don't mind, I have a case to be made that these Kellids, these rope fists, should not be allowed in the town walls. And she'll kind of like lift her hood up, and she kind of looks at you and Karak and kind of nods. Figwood is obviously left, so she kind of hefts her hammer and says, thank you for your help. You have been valuable allies to this town.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Means a lot for us that you stood up for us.
Well, I'm sure whatever story is being told before the council, there is another side to it. What that is, I don't really want to know.
Yeah, Roman looks like she wants to say something for a moment and then say, no, you probably don't.
She kind of, well, enjoy your meal, and she kind of reaches down and kind of takes a bite of, picks up one of these kind of pork cutlets off the table and, takes a bite, and she says, these are not bad. Tell Figfoot that he is a decent cook.
I will definitely do that.
Karak just chuckles.
And then she's gonna kind of unlock the door and make her way out into the night.
Yeah, I don't know. Robin doesn't have to do anything after that. I can't think of anything.
Yeah. It's probably about an hour later. When Quinn. Sorry, you wanted to do something. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I thought you were just. I'll be in my bunk kind of situation.
Well, while that was happening, he went over to his room.
Yes.
Softly closed the door. Is his room on the second floor or on the first floor?
There's only one floor.
Okay. And does his room have a window?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. So he actually would have closed his door and then opened his window.
Okay.
And then he's going to wild shape into a cat.
Okay.
A little tabby cat.
All right.
And he's going to crawl out of the window.
Okay.
And I start making my way, kind of just like catwalking over to the Silver Disc Hall.
Okay. The term is sashaying.
Sorry, sashaying my way over to the Silver Disc Hall.
All right.
As a little cat.
Yes.
It'll take you a little while to get there, but eventually you can get outside. You see that there are people outside, but it looks like it's not really in business mode.
Mm-hmm. can I go around to the back
Yes.
and kind of peer through the first floor windows?
Yeah, sure. You can climb up to one of them.
So I think there was one that was like a money counting room. So if I peer into that one, what would I see? Just kind of like...
You guys kind of busted into that room. It and kind of toppled some tables and stuff a little bit. There are no people, like there are no people in there, but you can see there are a couple, like there is two like sort of rope fist looking guys. They're not they're like decked out in armor. They look kind of tough. But you just see them sort of standing around as if they're guarding something, but you don't really see anything in the room to guard. How long are you gonna wait there?
I just kind of get up to just look at what's in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel, are they just kind of like, I don't know how to say it. Do I feel like something's going to happen? Like, do I feel like they're waiting for something, or
it looks like they're just kind of casually like waiting around for something. You don't necessarily know for what. I wanted to know like how long you'd kind of be standing there for, just as a matter of course.
Yeah. I think I would, after less than a minute, I would go down from the window and then go around to the next one on the first floor.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not what I wanted. I have to get to my notes here because this is way down in my notes. Way down in my notes. Where are we? Here we are. Okay. Okay. You actually see more people. They don't look like thug types. They look like, you know, workers, movers, teamsters kind of thing. My phone just died.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in the process of like picking up broken tables and you know, doing some cleaning up and moving some furniture and stuff like that. You don't see, I mean, from what you gather as you kind of peer in, if I'm assuming you're going to go window after window, you'll basically get the sense that this place is being both guarded and cleaned up, but it has essentially been like shut down for the night. You don't necessarily know if it's being like boarded up or closed down, but you do know that it is, that like, first of all, you know it's being cleaned up, but second of all, what you notice is a little bit more damage than you remember. Like, you're looking in rooms that you don't remember smashing up.
And they're smashed up.
A little bit, yeah.
Like rooms that we would have seen before?
No, I mean, you could go to the windows of places that you never even touched.
So, okay. Am I noticing places that I have seen untouched, now touched, or only places that I haven't seen?
From what you get the sense that probably even in rooms that you never visited in your time in this building, it looks like someone came and like ransacked the place as if they were like robbing it or looking for something.
Okay. The last thing I would do is I would try to see if there would be any way for me to scurry up to the second floor from the outside, maybe by like crawling up a drain pipe or something, or I don't know.
Cats are good at climbing. Sure, why not?
And I would try to reach that window into the fart bathroom, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the room with the covered stuff.
Yeah.
You still see that most of the things that you recall in this room that were covered with cloth are still there, except one. There's like a spot on the wall where you remember there being something, but there's nothing.
And there's no one else in the room that I can see.
The room is dark.
Okay. All right. I go back down to the first floor, and before leaving, I just kind of slink around so that I get a view of the front again, and it's just people kind of moving stuff around and taking stuff out and stuff.
They're not really taking it out of the building. It's it mostly looks like there's kind of like a small crowd of people that you can tell would probably be like gamblers or something here. That are like the building is closed to them, so they're sort of standing outside trying to figure out, like gawking or trying to figure out what's going on. There are some guards. It looks like, and it looks like there are probably some some council member type people in the vicinity. So it looks like there some kind of business is going on.
Okay.
You're not sure exactly what.
And then, could I go back to the window where I saw the 2 rope fists waiting?
Yeah, sure.
Before I leave.
Yeah.
And if I creep up there,
okay,
do I see them still waiting?
You see them kind of. One is talking to the other sort of smoking a cigarette.
Inside, how crass.
And as they're doing, you see someone kind of walk past there, very hunched shoulders, very sort of elongated face, but you don't really see any. It's kind of too dark for you to see the detail. And they kind of you see them kind of point towards a door, and the two guys sort of walk out that door, and then this sort of strange looking person follows them through the door, and then they're gone from your sight.
Okay. And that door does not seem to lead into the main area of the
that would be,
but into another room.
That would be like, so you're on the outside. That would be like that would be leading like deeper into the center of the casino, so somewhere that you couldn't see.
Yeah. Okay. I try to remember and store my knowledge or my memory of what that hunched over person looked like, whatever I could see of them, if anything.
Yep.
And then I just make my way back to the foundry, and I would go back up through my window in my room. All
right. So eventually you return. Eventually, while he's doing that, Quinn will return with his kind of fixed metal thing, and he says, "We fixed the power coupling. If we get down to the elevator shaft, I can reattach it. Should be able to make it operational." And as he kind of like plunks this big heavy piece of metal down on the table, he says, "Whatever happened to your friend, the one who wanted to go back down with us?"
Is he talking to Kurok, I suppose?
He's talking to all you guys. He's just sort of yeah.
Well, I mean, he offered, but I'm not sure if that offer still stands as things are now. Also, I'm not quite sure if we have the time to look for him.
Well, if he shows up, do you plan on letting us travel with him? Didn't seem all that trustworthy.
I wasn't too sure about that either. Kurok, what do you think?
Can probably just go.
I agree.
I mean, I don't have an issue with him, because he eventually came clean and sent us to where we needed to go, and he didn't have any involvement with it.
Well, although the thing is that we didn't find our things with Garmin, which doesn't necessarily mean that Sam will lie, but I'm still not 100% sure about his kind of character.
I mean, to be best case scenario, I guess worst case scenario, something happens and we kill him down there without getting judged by the people up top.
The problem would be is that we would have to start looking for him, and I'd rather avoid any unnecessary trip into the town. And I mean, if we see him on our way to the lake, we can take him along if you want to. Did Connor also come in, or was it just Quinn?
Yeah, Connor will eventually return inside. He's not going to stay in the forge forever, obviously.
I open my door and walk out.
Quinn's like, you all right?
Yes, just needed a little time to adjust my fig.
Before I
Is
forget
that
it,
what they
Fig
call it these
Boots.
days?
And I look at Greg and said, I guess we all thought the same thing. Figboot, before I forget it, Dulga liked your pork chops very
Oh,
much. She
Yes, I knew she would.
commended your cooking skills. So
Well,
perhaps
Did he make them?
No,
I don't
didn't
think he was
but,
the one that made them.
I didn't. I didn't feel
But
like
that doesn't matter. And
I didn't feel like telling her. I mean, now Figboot has a chance to perhaps
Yes,
ask
that's
her
one
out.
thing on the list that she likes of me. And the next thing is for her to remember my name correctly, which it's not hard to do. That is literally
I hope she calls him
Oh.
Fig Chop next.
fig chop. I've never heard such a worse mockery.
Well, the least she gets, she got the fig pod right. Something.
Yes. Well, when I was in my room, I wasn't really in my room. I quickly made a stop at the Silver Disc Hall, and I just wanted to see if our friend Shaman was still there. And I didn't see him, but it looks like they're packing up the place, and there are still some rope fists there, and also three interesting things. Number one is that there were some rooms in the hall that were disheveled that we never touched. Number two, I looked into our room with all the tops in it where we got the crate from, and there was another object against the wall that I remember, kind of like a larger one that is also gone now, but everything else is still there. And then the third thing is that there's this old, haggard, over-robed person that seems to be organizing things over at the Silver Disc Hall, and I didn't recognize it to be Garmin. But so
Well, talking about disguise, maybe it was him, just some kind of costume. Anyway, I would assume he's packing up, or he's already packed up if he's even still there. Everything that might be of value for him.
yes.
You know, he has something to start with and use somewhere else.
Well, did you all discuss anything important while I was gone? Or before I came out?
Remind me when
Whether or
did-
not to let Scamp come along.
Oh, that, the handsome young technological chap, right?
Yes,
Sure.
I mean he might be helpful, but
Connor says, "Who? I don't know who you're talking about."
Sandviltrat, you might have heard of him. Sleazy guy, but
You want to get in bed with Sandville Tret?
Tell us more about him.
I would not trust him as far as I could throw him if I were you.
well, I do have my suspicions that he led us on the wrong track when he sent us to Garmin to look for our items that were stolen.
I mean, doesn't seem like it was the wrong track.
Well, we didn't find our items. Again, it might just mean that they were somewhere else and not where we looked.
He says, "Look, there's no credibility to this. There's no fact that I can cite to back it up, but there has been talk, there's been rumor in town that Sandville Tret is... he's affiliated with some bad people."
Define bad. Worse than Garmin?
Do you know who we pay our taxes to?
Out of character,
No.
do I? There's some kind of dark king or something like that, right? That sort
No.
of everybody tries to ignore or something?
No, there.
know.
So Torch, sort of is essentially pays what fundamentally amounts to protection money, to an organization called the Technic League.
Oh, right. Right. those
They are
assholes.
essentially a group of. I mean, you'd all be familiar with their existence. The Technic League is essentially a group of. There are multiple. If you think about, there are 3 groups of people in that operate in the wasteland. There are the Kelids, which are the barbarians that hate technology, and they occupy ruins so that people don't take stuff out of them. The Technic League is pro-technology, and they want to use it to their own power, so they sort of take over ruins and stuff so they can extract artifacts and things like that from them. And then there are obviously the ruin scavengers and the bandits who kind of operate freelance and sort of, work for themselves. But yeah, the Technic League has quite a bit of power, and Torch essentially pays protection money to them.
Well, then it's probably best if we didn't take him with us. Though chances are we won't even run into him on our way to the lake.
He says, Did he make his way towards you? Did he try and get closer? Ask you questions about what you found in those ruins?
Yes,
Yes.
actually.
He says, I don't know if you realize, but until not very long ago, no one even knew there were ruins under Torch. And to be frank, aside from myself and my first expedition, you were one of the first people who had ever gone and come back from them.
So what you're saying is that this place might be swarming with Technic League people in a few weeks.
I'm saying, if they haven't already been notified, someone asking about what you found down there or wanting to go down themselves might be selling information to them, if nothing else.
Well, he's not coming with us then. Should we run into them, we will have to decide what to do with him.
We could take him with us and then leave him as an offering to the Dark Ones.
Figboot, I like your way of thinking.
Or to the Halflings if we find them.
Again, I wouldn't want to go out of our way to find him and waste more time. But again, we can think about knocking him out and taking him with us, should we run into him on our way there. Speaking of which, I look at Quinn. There's nothing from stopping us right now to go back. Dulga was so kind and brought us another spell scroll for water breathing, and I hadn't actually passed that on to Figboot.
Well, why do I get it?
Because I cannot cast it.
Oh, you're just admitting that I'm smarter than you, huh?
In regards to the arcane, no wait, out of character, druids don't really use. That's not really arcane magic, right? That's nature magic.
Yeah.
Then she
Magic
would have said something
arguments.
about magics. The magics. In regards to the magics, Mr. Figboot, I have to admit that you're smarter than I am.
Now I just need Dolga to see from your point of view.
I'm sure she will. Give it some time, Figboot.
I'm ready to set off then.
Excuse me, Connor, did you find anything shiny, magical, and or something explosive, as you said before, that we could perhaps take with us?
Yeah, he says, I rigged you an explosive charge. It has a manual switch, but you can also set it on a 12-second timer. The other thing, the most potent magical artifact I have right now is, give me 1 second. Where did I write this down? No, don't want to see that.
Or do we?
Or do I? Who knows? God damn it, I can't find my notes here. Okay. So you guys, so he will hand you what essentially amounts to a sort of a metal headband with a sort of like a strange kind of metallic, almost looks like a lightning rod or something coming off the top. And it is sort of set with these very, very small orbiting stones.
Okay.
He says, I wouldn't really put it on. It tends to be a bit finicky.
What happens if somebody puts it on?
Well, it's hard to explain. I use it basically as a grounding rod when I'm working with electrical components. But what it really is it helps you learn and memorize things. It enhances your focus, your mental acuity, and also, how do I say this? It makes you see through things.
Can I wear it?
Things like
I've never worn it in an active ruin. I would not be surprised if it attracted electrical currents.
I see.
Never mind. Wait, only
Well-
if you wear it will it attract those currents, or should we not even take it with us?
Well, if you put it in your pack, it won't.
Well, it might actually... It might be useful for our next negotiation with a skulk. Things will definitely go south then. But it might give us a head start. Thank you, Connor.
I hope it's enough to get you through whatever you need. Now, I know you wanted to leave as soon as possible, so tell me, should I delay the activation or the deactivation of this relay?
Yes, I look at the others and say, what do you think? Should we go with the time that it took us last time to get to the ruins and get through the habitat?
What did we think would happen again once this thing was deactivated? That the purple-haired woman would come up or something?
Well, if she's responsible, then she would be alarmed. That is the assumption. She might be drawn out.
I can't imagine whoever's on the other end won't know if this is deactivated. So we can do it now, or we can do it on a delay, so as to cause some sort of confusion that might buy you an advantage.
I think
How about... Yes.
I think we deactivated in the time that it took us to get to the elevator, and then from the elevator on we act and see what happens.
Well, but to get it took us quite some time to get to the elevator. I mean, we slept in between.
Yes.
I mean, you guys know the way. You think, like, unless it's somehow refilled with
Yeah.
with enemies, like you can get there pretty quickly.
Like a few hours, 2-3 hours, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could probably get there within 2 or 3 hours easily.
Okay. So 3 hours?
Is that your suggestion?
Yeah, I sort of look at the others and 3 hours. All right.
I agree.
Fair enough.
Sounds like a plan.
He says, so you want to go now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And he'll kind of, like, you guys have your packs. I mean, they're aside from the fact that they were rifled through not too long ago, you still have them, so they should be ready to go. So if you wanted to just sort of grab your stuff and make your way out the door under cover of night, you have your scroll.
Well.
All right. Let me check something real here. Give me 1 second. Come on, start. Alright, so you guys make your way across town. Eventually you kind of find your way to the sort of oil slick runoff lake that hides the entrance to the caverns. You are able to use, if you unless you would like to swim, you are definitely able to use your scroll of water breathing.
Well, I mean, now that we made the way down once, do we think that if we swim extra hard and fast, and now that we know where we have to go?
Well, the problem wasn't where we had to go. The problem is going down.
Yeah, that is what I meant. Now that since we made the way the first time, would we think that there's a chance that we'd be able to hold our breath that long? Or would that cut it close?
You could try it. It's you're welcome to try it. The scroll would just basically be being safe.
Well,
I mean, we would definitely. The chances are bigger that we need it on the way down than on the way up.
We don't need it up.
If we weighed ourselves going down with something like rocks, then we would go down faster. I think going up is actually worse.
No, remember Karak said that it was fairly easy.
Yeah, no, it's easier. It's easier to go up than it is to swim down. But remember it's 20. Water breathing is 24 hours, I believe.
Well, I say we just do it.
You want to cast it?
Yes.
I'm not going to object. That's fine by me.
All right. So with your sort of water breathing power, let me get some. I don't know why I can't find it now. All right. Let's turn this down. All right. So you guys are making your way down into the ruins, and eventually, as you make your way through the cave, you pass through the water, you pass through the tunnel, and as you're sort of in this dark, this dark chamber, eventually you hear sort of that familiar hissing out of the corner, like out of the darkness. It says, "We did not expect you to return."
Very quickly, I think that on the way there we would have discussed this at least a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Yeah, no, just that. So Roman's idea would have been like when Connor told her about the potential side effects of that circlet that he gave them, that she would suggest to sort of present it to the new leader to Saf, see if she likes it, but then directly be on the sort of ready for a fight, because she might actually get hurt if she tries to put it on. I don't know how bad it might be if her hat actually could get zapped, or if it really attracts electrical current, that might end very badly. But sort of, yeah, just that everybody is ready for some more fun. Yeah.
I can put it on just to see what happens.
When
he said electrical currents, I got the idea that it was going to attract more robots.
Well, yes, that might also be the case. Maybe I misunderstood. I don't know. I just wouldn't want to risk anything.
Well, I say we offer it to them and see what happens.
Agreed.
All right. So you guys eventually, as you make your way through the cave, you sort of find yourself in the darkness, hearing this sort of hissing voice of one of the skulks before you. I assume you guys have some sort of illumination with you as you see sort of the thin, dark form of one of these creatures sort of stepping out of the shadows, kind of a knife in its hands, kind of a wicked grin on its face.
Is it Seth or?
It is not. This is a different one.
Hello.
Well, yes, we're back faster than we anticipated. We would like to talk.
Hello. We came back. We are ready to go back through and continue delving.
You owe a debt.
We already gave you an amulet earlier. Don't you remember?
That was not the agreement.
Fig boot.
All right, I thought I would try. Go ahead, Robin.
Be respectful.
No, we brought you something magical. Something nice. So if we could talk to Seth.
Says, she is here. And kind of Seth, you hear kind of footsteps sort of just to the side of you, kind of the sound of metal scraping against the stone. And you hear, what have you brought for me?
Well, and I rummage in my backpack and take out this the circlet. We acquired this. We were told that this amplifies a person's mental capacities, and it lets you do some extraordinary things. We got it from a wizard, who's quite knowledgeable in technological things, wizardry, all sorts of things. And he assured us that this could be quite helpful for your situation. And I hand it over to her.
Seth will kind of take it in one hand and sort of turn it over. There's these sort of slowly orbiting little rocks and kind of this long lightning rod looking thing on this helmet. And she says, it is acceptable. Consider our bargain done for now. You have your passage.
Robin blinks at her for a moment, sort of thinking, okay, that was easy. Don't show that you're surprised. That's all.
Karak looks over smugly at Robin. Because I think Robin was the only one that's like, no, it's gotta help them get back to their place. It's gotta be this one niche item. Like,
she says, like, consider our domain open to you. However, we will not be so kind to other trespassers.
Well, of course not.
We recommend
Why should
that
you be?
actually. In fact, if you see a single person come down here who wields one sword, be sure to be very mean to them.
The Seth will kind of give you a grin, and you guys sort of are in this vast cavern, and you can kind of see the sort of glinting eyes of all the skulks kind of hanging around in the darkness on the cliffs surrounding you. But they have let you pass. You have kind of struck your bargain, and from there you can continue on in through the door, past the habitat module. And as you sort of sneak your way through the habitat module, eventually you will arrive down in the science wing. Still, the blood trail's still there, the kind of echoing sound of medical devices still clanging in the distance. But you arrive at the elevator itself. And Quinn, with his sort of with his expertise, is able to install the part and make the elevator work. And as he does, he says, "Well, it looks like the next place we go is to the engineering deck below us. The other two above us are broken off."
All right. Done it is.
Yeah, it says, "Hands and elbows inside the machine." And as he punches in the coordinates, or the task to move the elevator, eventually you guys will it will start moving. You hear it kind of grinding as it begins moving down this long shaft. Eventually, after what feels like kind of a tense eternity, you hear the loud kind of banging sound as the elevator kind of slams into the bottom of the shaft below, and you hear the doors just kind of like they kind of struggle to open, but you can see them sort of opening very slowly. Let me turn that down just a bit. What am I? Oh, sorry. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong page. Right, this one. There you go. So as the doors open, you guys see the chamber beyond is darkened, as if you can see sort of flickering bits of light. But it seems that this deck has suffered some fairly extensive damage, meaning that the lighting in this area is almost entirely defunct. As the doors kind of open just a slight bit, this sort of clawing, animalistic stink begins to fill the elevator from the room adjacent to it. As you can see, sort of just in the flickering dim light, there is a large chamber just outside the elevator. You can make out from where you are some curved ramps that seem to head up and elevated to a higher level, but you also hear kind of strange noises coming from outside.
Do you have a map for that?
I do. Give me a second.
Thank you. I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, give me a second here.
Yeah.
All right. Let me make this darker. Whose token didn't get on the map? Robin's.
Robin.
That's what you get. No. just gotta scale these down a bit. All right. So you guys are.
I think I might have to refresh because I don't see.
I haven't moved you yet. I was just
okay.
I was just setting up the tokens. So you guys have sight. You have 60 and 0. Fig Boot, you have dark vision also. I believe dwarves have dark vision.
Yeah, they live underground.
Okay.
I don't think
Dynamic
I wrote it
lighting.
down, but...
All right. All right. And then Gene layer. Okay. So you guys are right here. Nope. You guys are right here.
Okay.
Why can't I can't center you? For some reason, it's not letting me shift click anymore. Can you guys see yourselves?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then you can see where you are. Got it. I was like, it's not letting me shift click to auto move you. Okay, so you are sort of sitting in the elevator, but the door is cracked. You can see sort of a set of sliding doors just across from you. You can kind of smell the strange sort of musky scents filling the elevator from the chamber that it opened on.
And so are we able to go through the doors?
Yeah, you can sort of push your way through.
Okay.
They look like they're sort of stuck in a halfway open position. Damage
I
to
would
the
say
deck.
I'd just
That
like
will-
to get a look.
All right.
See what's going on.
So as you pull your way out, Robin, you can see this is sort of a hemispherical chamber. To the north and south, you can see these sort of curved ramps that lead up to what look like hallways leading out of this room. While there are quite a few doors in the eastern wall, flickering lights kind of flash and strobe on the ceiling, and the gray metal walls are scorched, dented, and partially broken in places, exposing sort of colorful wires and or metallic struts within. You can see in this room there are 4 mounds of rubble, cloth, and bones that lie scattered around this room.
Do you see anything?
Well, it's empty aside from. I take a closer look at one of these piles. Do they seem to be? Is it human bone fragments, or is it actually? Does it look like a?
So they
But
yeah.
something decomposed on that spot.
No, it looks like these. This is sort of like not like a decomposition pile. It looks like this stuff has been brought here, almost like some sort of animalistic bedding or something, or mound.
Well,
As if something
shit.
dragged all these parts here.
Okay. Little nests. Well, could be looks like it might be the sleeping place or something. And, yeah, go ahead.
Figboot would come out and go towards one of them, and he wants to see if he recognizes this type of bedding through his knowledge of nature.
Yeah, sure. Roll me a knowledge check. Or roll me a nature check, I meant.
Oh my god, this is only the second roll for tonight.
First one was for someone that wasn't even here.
And a 19 again.
Yeah, so, let me just check something. Okay, so you recognize the sort of the teeth marks and stuff that you know, like you'll see these piles and it almost becomes instantly obvious to you. The teeth marks on the bones and stuff are short and close together, but there are a lot of but a very long snout. They're like a long snout that's it's got a very wide set jaw on it. But the claw marks are small, and you see sort of like dusty footprints and stuff. What you can put together is that whatever made this is some sort of is like a dog, but its frame is very long, very thin, and it's got a very wide set jaw. And the only thing that comes to your head that would match this frame is something called that you've heard of, but you've heard of or seen drawings of them, but they're not native to here. They are a sort of a marsupial like animal called a thylacine.
Huh.
They are somewhere between. They're essentially a dog, but they have this sort of striped pelt and a long very long, wide-jawed muzzle.
Are they a natural animal?
Yeah, they are. They are real animals. They live here on Galarian, but they are not necessarily native to this particular or to the area that you're from.
Okay. Well, I informed the party about what you just told me, and
You as you're kind of standing to inform them, you one of the things that you would probably add is you say, you would know that if their heaps are here, they probably can't be too far away. And just as you're kind of adding that little bit, you hear kind of this echoing howl coming from down one of those hallways leading away from this chamber.
Yay.
And then you hear another one join it.
Drawing my blades.
Yeah,
Just
gearing up.
waiting for a second to see.
Quinn is kind of he'll be out here kind of listening to this. He says, I don't know what these are, but I know coyotes and wolves in the desert. We should find a door and go through it.
So the bad smell, is it just everywhere in this section?
It is definitely from these creatures.
Okay.
Yeah, you realize now that these creatures have been using this chamber and no one has been cleaning up after them. Yeah.
The door right across from us, does that have a color code? If so, which?
Give me 1 second. All right, give me 1 second here. All right. So as you're looking around, that is gonna be D2. Yes, you can see immediately across from you, the door is locked, and you see on the access panel there is a white bar.
Bullshit.
Do we have a white card or only a black
No,
one?
only black and
Brown.
brown. Well, I mean, we could try.
Sorry, 1 second. You actually you see that however the two tunnels on either side of it have black access panels.
You mean those other doors?
Those two
there?
doors that flank the double doors, yeah. The other ones, you don't know. You'd have to go check those. The other ones are like on the far north of the room or too far away.
Wow.
I say we go through the one up closest to Robin.
As you, as you guys are discussing this, you hear yet another howl has joined the call, and they're getting louder.
Okay, let's
Go to the door.
I mean, I would press my ear to the door just for a second to double check that the howling, that that there's nothing going on behind the door.
Yeah, no, the howling is definitely coming from the hallways to the north and south.
So no scratching, sniffling.
Not from these doors, no.
Rolling behind the door. Okay. Well, I would say to you as well, it seems to be clear.
Let's go.
Okay, I use the card.
All right. As you here, let me move this out of the way. As you do, you are going to the door will slide open, Robin, and you are looking down what appears to be a small sort of access corridor. You can see it kind of curves to the north.
Let's all get in and try to close the door behind us.
All right. Quinn will rush in, and Karak, you kind of are you going to be the last one in, or Quinn? What?
No, I'm last one in.
Okay. Sorry. So as Quinn comes in before you, you will be the last one through the chamber as you kind of slam the panel, and just as you see the doors sort of sliding closed, you see this sort of bolt of like reddish brown fur just come shooting out of the hallway in the other chamber, and you can see it kind of leaping one of the rails just as one of these dogs comes bounding into the room just as the doors slam shut in front of you.
Well,
We did this.
that was good. Yay for haste.
Well, send Quinn a hat.
All right, Quinn will here. If you hold Alt, you can stay on the path here. Quinn will tell you that there is a door at the end of the chamber. He believes he can open it.
All right.
All right.
We can do that.
So Quinn will kind of make his way to this door. And as he begins sort of checking the lock for traps, checking it, he'll kind of hold up his hand. He says, "I hear someone on the other side of this."
Well, is it a human voice or something mechanical?
It's not a robot. It's heavy.
Well, we've got no creatures on the one side and something else on the other.
He says, "Whatever it is, they probably know we're here, so just get ready."
All right.
Karak readies her axe, even though it's already ready. I just wanted something relevant to say.
Yeah, you'd be
Okay.
making me super ready.
All right, double fist on the axe, like white knuckle.
She clenches her fists
Uh,
more than they were before.
All right, so you guys draw your weapons, and as Quinn sort of eventually he kind of shoves the card into the slot, and you see the green light as the door slides open. And let me just get my thing ready. All right. As the door slides open, you guys see a chamber filled with tables and cushioned chairs situated through this room. Most of them appear to be toppled over and damaged. You can see the north wall is lined with many doors, while a few broken machines lie against the walls. Broken panels cover the ceiling, and mounds of what look like shattered glass have been pushed to the center of the room, and sort of turning to face the sound of the door opening is what appears to be a heavily armored and carrying like big crude weapons, a kind of snarling face of a green skin orc. And as he kind of points his weapon towards you guys and lowers it, I think that's where we're gonna end it for tonight.
Karak,
As you guys have kicked the hornet's nest as you made your way into the engineering deck, and you find it is not unoccupied. But that is going to be where we're going to end it for tonight. That is the end of our show. It is... 8 to 9, 9 to 10. Yep. It is getting late here, and we are all very, very tired. And, of course, we don't want to get into a combat just now, but... Man, thank you all to everyone. Don't go anywhere, guys. We have some outros to do, some hooks and plugs, and of course we are gonna pass on the love with a raid to someone. So let me put my music back on because you haven't been able to hear it. So as always, let's kind of go around the table, talk to our players, get a little bit of their insight on the session, some hooks, some plugs, all of that good stuff, and we will start, as always, with the magnificent Petra.
Aww. Yeah, that was good after the brawl last week. It was kind of nice to have a talky, that's probably not an adjective, but it's now a talky session with only very few rolls. And I enjoy those. But I'm already looking forward to kicking some orc butt next time.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
Always.
I'm
That's what they're
definitely
for.
I'm definitely excited to be back in the ruins and yeah, see if we can find out what's actually going on, and see if we can find that woman with the purple hair and find out who she really is.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah. That's
just
good.
all the answers coming.
All the answers, hopefully, or not.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you get up to on the internet, and why we should definitely follow you.
I do stuff on the I don't do that much stuff on the internet, but as the handle underneath my I haven't said it in a few weeks, visage, as the handle underneath my visage tells you. You can find me on Twitter, and on that account, I mainly tweet about geeky things, role playing stuff, and cute animals. And then, so aside from playing Robin here every Wednesday, for the next couple of Mondays, you can still see me on over on the Twitch channel Encounter Roleplay. We still have a few episodes left for our Monday session at 4 p.m. Eastern, namely with Mutant Year Zero. We're all mutants with freakish powers. Yeah, we're still alive, which surprises me every time I think about it, because it's a quite lethal system. Everybody who's played that before knows what I'm talking about, but it's a lot of fun, so come check that out next week, 4 p.m. Eastern, Encounter Roleplay.
All right. Well, and of course, go check her out on Twitter. If one of my cool mods wants to drop the link, you guys can get that done. There it is, Firebringer coming in clutch. So go, as always, go show her some love, and thank her for being here. Quinn, Scott, what did you think of today? No?
Well, I
No?
thought it was kind of good, but I wasn't here, so I can't really say much.
That, Scott, you were sounding better every day.
Yeah.
He would probably say something like, there wasn't enough staff polishing going on today.
Yeah, there
Like,
wasn't
not
That's-
enough
staff
staffs were
polishing.
polished.
That is, well, once we have polished all the staffs, we'll have committed to the ritual that will summon him back for next week, hopefully. Because it's a weird ritual. I know. But look, I don't write them, okay? It's an occult thing. It's just...
Mm-hmm. Tentacles and such.
Yeah. But as always, guys, we will shout out Scott anyway. He's Scott, and he's at Elrond RPG. Zach.
Fig boot.
Well, interesting. I've never had well, this reminds me of a session that I ran where all of the characters in a town killed a lot of people in the town, and they were run out of it. I'm having flashbacks.
Sounds like
except I
D&D
was
to
on
me.
Yeah, I was on the other side of the table for that one. So yeah, that was interesting, and also I think now that we're back in the underneath the torch, it'll be very interesting to see what we uncover in all that. So, you know, and it's nice to see some orcs, like some full-bred orcs. You know, there's some trouble when you see full-bred orcs as opposed to half orcs. So you gotta know.
Bring me orcs.
Yes, these orcs.
Yes,
So we'll
precious. They are tasty.
Yes, I Fig Boot fancies a large, crude weapon. He'll just take one of those orc war hammers and just carry it around for no reason.
Well, he could bring it as a gift for Dulga.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but in the art that I use for the tokens, he's literally got like a pipe, like what looks like a muffler pipe, as like a hammer.
Where do you get all these? Are these all from
They're
official Iron Gods things?
some of them are official art. Some of them are just things from around the internet.
But
Google
yeah,
Images.
It was very interesting, and I look forward to the future.
So optimistic.
Yeah. I mean,
Well-
how else are you supposed to look at the future? You can't look back at the future. You always have to look forward to the future. So
Unless you're time travel. Well, yeah, kind of.
We have to go back, Marty.
That's Fig Boot's
Marty, we
other
have to go
half.
back. All right, well, Zach's link is, of course, in chat. Go check him out there. Go follow him. Go show him some love. All that good stuff. And last but not least, the fantabular tiger.
fantabulous.
Hey man, I'll take it. That's fine. I was kind of sad. I really wanted some combat. I like the talkie, but Karak isn't really a talkie character. So episodes like this kind of leave me at a bit of a loss. So I am definitely ready to let Karat go apeshit on some orcs. I
Yeah.
am so ready. So looking forward to that for next week. My name is Tiger Rises. Below my visage, you can find the tag. I am that on Twitter. I am that on Twitch. I do Pokemon shenanigans, World of Warcraft shenanigans, Ark Survival, Evolve shenanigans. This is the only D&D that I do generally because everybody's on the other side of the country generally, and my time zone is terrible. So if anybody usually ever complains about being tired, it's me. Sorry.
Well, Tiger's link is in chat, so go check all that out, show the love, and make sure you give these people some follows. As always, my name is Askren. I am your host and Dungeon Master here, and under my visage, you can see my also Twitter handle, or you can just !social and get all that information. We are not, of course, yes, my visage, my visage. You can join if you have not already. By the way, please hit that follow button. We love having you guys here. Thank you to, I think I missed this before. Thank you to Zapsus32 for follow, and Runtime 83 for following. Welcome to the madness, my friend. Thank you for joining us. We are going to go and pass the D&D love on with a raid. We're gonna go drop some awesome love on someone else's stream. And before that, just some quick announcements. If you guys enjoyed the show, you can hit that subscribe button and become one of Dice Thulu's minions. You should also check us out on Discord. That's the Bomb Squad community, where you can keep up to date with everything. You can follow me on social media. It's just @Askren. That's your official home for everything Exploding Dice. Which technically is this. This is the official home for everything Exploding Dice, right around me. What else? If you want more role-playing action, you should come back on Saturday, where we have our open legend horror game, The Writhing Moon, which is a ton of fun, and it's getting very weird and very, very mysterious. A lot of stuff happening in that game that I can't talk about. If you want more on YouTube, you can just check out the YouTube. Every episode, including my talk show, Writhing Moon, Jade Regent, Iron Gods, all goes up on the YouTube for you to watch later on, so go enjoy those. I'm actually going to be going back and doing some tagging work on that later tonight. And I don't know, maybe we'll, I have a doctor's appointment, but maybe we'll hang out with some more dice, coffee, and video games tomorrow morning. Who knows? But that's it for us. Let's go find someone to raid. Who is live right now? I don't trust Bub or not. I don't trust how long he's going to be on. So, let's see if there's someone else in the D&D category that we can smash. We can smash it.
Let me smash.
I'm gonna smash it and call it hummus. That's what we're gonna do. I know they're ending right now, so I'm not gonna go raid Unmade, but you should definitely check out Unmade. Jesus, this is tough. This is tough. Hold on, I'm checking out Bub, because if he's doing the things, then we're gonna go pass the love on to Bub if he's still live. Bubbity. I'm literally seeing if they're ending right now, which is of course takes forever, by the way, because Twitch is a good program. While you're doing that, guys, thank you all for coming out. If you have not entered the giveaway, there's just a couple days left for the giveaway. It's ED Dwarf Forge. We got a couple days left. I extended it because of some shenanigans, but we will be announcing that, I think. Oh, come on! Ah, god damn it.
Yeah.
Twitch is literally the worst site in the world. You know what? Oh my god.
Everybody could just give the laugh back to themselves.
Yeah, no, we do enough of that here. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna go hit Bub. We're gonna go hit Bub or not, and if he's not live, then I don't even know. Exclamation point raid Bubber not CCE. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There's the link. I got an API error because I'm good at things.
Yeah, I think you forgot an T there, Babano.
Buberno. Buberno. It's French with the Buberno.
Let's visit the Babano. I think he should still be up at this time.
Is the bubber? No. It is not. There is the link, guys. Go show him some love. ! Raid. When you get there, make sure to type Exploding Dice Raid. I don't know how long he's going to be live on, but he should be able to lead you to someone else who's doing something cool. That's going to be it for us. We will see you on Saturday for Writhing Moon. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out. And as always, don't let Dicey Lou get his tentacles on you, because he might give you a massive headache and then send it somewhere else. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care, everyone. Bye.